We're nervous of what tire pressure we should do. We are running with the same tires in wet and dry, but of course the tire pressure is completely different.
Yes.
So if somebody gambles correct here and it comes rain, then we'll see some interesting thing.
Yeah, and the grid start order as the total points haul of the weekend so far is as follows. Andreas Skattebo on pole position with Linus Stjärnelund alongside him. In P3, dark horse we must say, Kalle Svensson, and then P4 Albin Gustafsson. P5 Oskar Mellstig after a mighty recovery drive last race, and then in P6 Lionel Score. Gustav Berglund in P7 alongside him, Fredrik Lindholm in P8. Jonathan Nylander P9 and then Enzo Collin P10. P11 we have William Isaksson and then Max Stjärnelund in P12. P13 Devon Grabko, P14 William Eriksson, P15 Johan Valand. Pete Norbeck in P16 will not be starting this race. His weekend is over unfortunately. P17 Selina Hessman and then P18 Mikael Karpers. P19 Sigurd Fredriksen. And then Agnes Varland rounds off the grid.
Sigurd is also not starting. He had another engine problem.
Yep.
So sadly for him, this was his first race. He has had a jolly time in the car, but yeah, these things happen sometimes.
Yeah. Exactly that way. I can see the clouds are getting darker and darker by the second, as we now see the cars and drivers forming up on the start-finish straight. And I believe wants to watch this race, definitely Oskar Mellstig, Lionel Score, who had a drive shaft failure on the last straight of the last race. And then we have also wants to watch, I would say, Fredrik Lindholm out of position. He's faster than this grid position shows, in my opinion, and because of the spin in race 1 earlier this morning. As we see Albin Gustafsson in P4 lining up on the grid alongside him, Kalle Svensson and Oskar Mellstig. Final cars forming up.
If we get rain, it will definitely be an advantage for Skattebo, who has several years of experience.
Yeah.
Where some of the newcomers have never tried this car in rain.
Yeah, if the rain comes, I am putting all my money pretty much on Andreas. He has a lot of experience, and I know he's quick in the wet, and the others might be quick, but they're unproven so far. As we see now.
Yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Lights out
and
and
we
away we
have
go.
a race.
Oskar Mellstig makes a good start on Albin Gustafsson. Albin Gustafsson is sleeping pretty much. Lionel trying to challenge him 3 wide between Jonathan, Gustav and Fredrik behind them. William Isaksson and Enzo Collin side by side.
We'll see if Oskar can take another place. I think he is doing that. I think he's up to
P3.
third.
Up into P3. And then we see Andreas Skattebo fighting it out with Linus Stjärnelund for P1. And Oskar Mellstig is right behind them. He's made a good start. He's even looking toward Andreas Skattebo. I know they filled up the tires with more air just before going out this race, so he might have a bit of quicker start this one.
And we can see Andreas has to drive defensive. Stjärnelund is really pushing, and maybe Mellstig can use that to his advantage. No, he can't.
Andreas from Linus, Andreas defense from Linus, and then is Oskar behind. Lionel, Albin, and then Fredrik Lindholm. Then it's Gustav Berglund. Kalle Svensson has dropped down multiple positions this lap. And then William Isaksson, Enzo Collin, Jonathan Nylander, Max Stjärnelund, William Eriksson, Devon Grabko, Johan Valand, Selina Hessman, Mikael Karpers and Agnes Varland. Into the final corner, Linus has dropped back a bit from Andreas, but he will get the slip shim on the front straight. But it's more so Oskar looking toward Linus and then Linus on Andreas.
Linus has to drive a bit defensive, and now Andreas has to drive defensive for Linus, and that is could be an advantage for Oskar, that is side by side with Linus at the moment.
boxed in behind Andreas. Oscar trying to find his way through, but Linus fends him off. It's the battle of the titans, Keda Motorsport versus Skattebo.
Exactly.
And then Lionel score. Just a bit behind that, and then Albin Gustafsson, Fredrik Lindholm.
Albin will make an attack on Lionel.
Oscar on the outside of Linus. Is he passed or not? They're still side by side going in on the exit of AS corner.
Yes.
And he has to overlap. Oscar is going to pass him down into turn 6 toward hairpin corner. Then is Lionel behind that. Lionel breaking late, but
also Linus breaking late and keeping
late.
the speed
They're
in the
still
corner.
side by side on the exit of turn 6.
I think Linus is taking it.
Linus is fending in off.
Ooh, and Oscar was too hard on the curve.
Look a move on Oscar, but not quite enough. And then Fredrik is caught up to this battle.
And it looks like Andreas is smiling again, looking in the mirror on the fight behind him.
Yep. He's running away with this one once again, but it's Oscar trying to challenge Linus for P2. And then it's Lionel, Albin, and Fredrik Lindholm. Side by side, turn 1, here we go again. And
beautiful pictures of from onboard on Oscar.
Yep. The rain, for the moment, staying away. Oscar trying to look forward. He's shaking off Lionel a tiny bit. We have to remember also, Andreas is not a part of JRM. So for the fight of the win in the juniors, it's between Linus and Oscar at the moment.
What is JRM?
It stands for Junior Riksmästerskap, which translates to Junior National Championship. Key distinction, it's not a Swedish championship, it's a national championship. There is a difference there.
But it is an important title.
Yes, it is definitely a lot of honor. You get to go on the big
gala. We haven't...
Side by side in the last corner, Lionel and Albin Gustafsson. Still side by side. Still side by side, and Fredrik is gonna get the toe now.
From 2 cars.
Is he gonna get 3 wide into turn 1? He thinks better of it, it seems for a moment. He boxed in behind Lionel and Albin into turn 1.
And it looks like Linus Stjernelund is closing the gap up to Andreas Skattebo, and that we like.
Yes, because then we get some racing for the lead. Andreas has been too comfortable this weekend. We want to see some battles. But now, yeah, Linus is definitely catching, and Oscar is not far away either. Lionel now facing up a move for AS corner. He's on the outside of Albin Gustafsson, but he backs out. Maybe opting for the switchback. Yes, he does. He has his overlap on the outside. Now he's on the side by side, outside for turn 6. Fredrik Lindholm right behind that. And then Kalle Svensson grouping up again. And then we have William Eriksson and Enzo Collin side by side into turn 6 as well. William Eriksson backs out, and then William Isaksson has a little look, but he backs out of it. Agnes Warland and Selina Hessman also close to each other at the back. As we now see Linus, Andreas and Oscar on the front straight. Linus is closer, Oscar is 2. Can he make a move? Fredrik, Lionel and Albin.
He definitely has the speed now for trying.
But will he play the team game? No, he goes for it. Around the outside, down into turn 1. Breaks later than Andreas. Can he hold it around the outside? The car yawing side to side when he loads the tire, but not quite enough. And then Oscar has a little look, but decides the better of it. Out.
But now they are much closer to each other.
Yeah, on the back straight now. Into AS. Can Linus make a move here? Outside once again. Doesn't break late enough to make a move. But then Oscar looks the inside. Linus has done himself by going on the outside and not breaking late. Oscar has a run, but has to back out. So there's still Andreas from Linus from Oscar. And we see side by side William Eriksson and Isaksson. They're both Williams. As we said, they sound like an F1 team.
Yeah, it sounds like F1 again.
Side by side in turn 6 between them. Isaksson and Eriksson, who will get out on top. Eriksson has the run, and he slots in front. Now once again, front straight.
We have Oscar very close to Linus now.
Now it's Oscar with the run on Linus.
And Linus has to go out or he stays behind Scatterbo. No, he breaks out, and then I think
Oscar makes a move. He breaks the wheel wobbling all about. Can he make the corner? Yes, he does. But there's still side by side between Linus and Andreas going into turn 2. Will he yield? No, he sticks it on the outside.
And Andreas, he's so clever.
Yeah, he knows this game. Multiple years of experience. Now slipstream on the backside. Albin Gustafsson catching a bit up now because of the fighting ahead. Now we see breaking late into AS. Oscar trying to get a run on Linus. But Linus gets a good exit. We see now Eriksson putting away from Isaksson as well. Enzo Collin.
And we have overtaken in AS. I couldn't see who it was.
It's Gustav Berglund. He's gotten past Jonathan Nylander. Now it's Andreas from Linus, from Oscar, from Albin. Albin is close now. He's also part of this top 4 battle as it turned into from top 3. Linus has a bit of a moment going into the last corner, but he makes it out. He gets a good exit anyway. And now it's slipstream once again. So it's Andreas, Linus, Oscar, Albin, top 4 now. Linus, once again, outside move preferred. There's no room on the inside to go for a move, so he has to go for outside. Can he brake late enough to make it stick? He brakes even later than last lap. The car once again jawing and banking and trying to get past, but is still side by side into turn 2. Now he has to run. And
I think he's doing it now.
Side by side into turn 4. That means he has the inside. And now
well done, Linus.
New leader, Linus Stjärnelund, ahead of Andreas, but Andreas still has to run. Can he make a move around the outside? He's going to try at least.
And then if I was Oscar, I would keep very close to Linus' gearbox.
Yeah. Linus now and Andreas side by side. And now Oscar has a bit of a run. He's got to
we have a new leader. Definitely.
New leader Linus. He's defending into turn 6. Oscar and Andreas and everyone breaking very late. And now we see both Lionel and Fredrik also catching up. So we're turning into a top 6 now.
It's good when they're fighting in the front. Ooh,
Andreas
that's a bold move.
He goes very wide. That was not an attempt. That was a mistake, I think. Into the last corner now. Andreas getting stressed now behind Linus, looking on the rear gearbox of his teammate. Oscar will now have a run. And Albin and then Lionel and then Fredrik. There's a top 6 now for the P1 battle. Oscar staying behind Andreas. Andreas goes to the outside of Linus. Linus breaks late, but Andreas breaks even later.
And Oscar is on the inside.
Oscar is going to take the inside. This means that Andreas is going to focus on defending, but Oscar has to slot in behind Andreas anyway. Turn 2, turn 3, and then into turn 4. Banked. Keep it on the inside. And they now exit onto the back straight, into AS corner. Big hairpin, big overtaking opportunity. Albin is close to Oscar. Can Albin make a move on Oscar this time around? No. Oscar breaks late, but Lionel breaks even later behind them. And it's a big concertina. They're basically paper to paper close now. There's nothing between them. Andreas now trying to make a move on Linus. Can he make it? Outside, inside, where will he go? He decides to go on the outside, but backs out. Lionel goes past Albin Gustafsson for P4. So Lionel up into P4 now. Linus from Andreas, from Oscar, from Lionel, and then Albin Gustafsson and Fredrik Lindholm. That's the top 6 we have right now, and they're all battling for the lead.
I can see actually that Andreas' backhand is moving a little bit more than the other cars. Have he got some heating problem in the tires maybe?
Has he maybe overcooked it, as they say?
He's pushing.
He's pushing.
The car in the front.
And it's going on the outside. Can he make a move? Oscar on the inside, Lionel behind them. As we see all the cars just forming up like a big group. And Oscar once again on the inside of Andreas. Can he get the run?
And he stays there now. Yes, he is on the inside, but Andreas is good.
Andreas is.
He knows exactly where he has the car.
Andreas now trying to make a move on Linus ahead. I have to apologize to all the other drivers, but this battle for P1 is just too intense.
We have a technical flag on car number 3, and I can see it's smoking.
Yeah, it's Agnes Varland.
Yes.
And she's boxing now. So, as we see the move, Lionel goes past Oscar now. So, and then Andreas has a run on Linus. Can he make anything about it into turn 7? Linus kind of turns in and they make it out side by side into turn 8, which turns into turn 9. Linus on the inside, Lionel behind them also. Watch out now, Andreas. Lionel is a feisty one. And now the gap on the front straight once again. It's Linus, Andreas, Lionel, Oscar, Albin, and then Fredrik.
And Andreas has a good run on the outside.
This time around, can he make it? He's breaking late. The car bouncing everywhere, but not quite. Oscar looking at Lionel. Lionel fencing off a bit.
We have 2 minutes left. Who will win?
We don't know so far. It's impossible to tell. But certainly, Linus out there commanding the lead at the moment. And Andreas outside once again into AS. Which means Lionel has a chance now to go side by side with Andreas. Not quite enough this time around. But now into turn 6. Will he have the chance? No. Linus from Andreas, from Lionel, and then Oscar, Albin, and Fredrik, who's dropping back a little bit now. Lionel now behind Andreas and Linus.
I think this will be a tremendous 2 last laps.
Yes.
Andreas keep trying on the outside.
But then you have to brake very late and carry the speed on the outside if you want to go on the outside. Into turn 1. Andreas is not far along alongside, but then Lionel has to move. Lionel goes past Andreas to side by side into turn 2. But this is Lionel's move, and there contact. Andreas and Lionel goes a bit of contact into turn 2. Lionel is ahead now. And Linus has a bit of a gap.
And actually, we can look outside the window here and see Lionel's father, who is
bouncing up and down.
Up and down.
And now Lionel is close to Linus. Can he make a move on Linus this time around? He's closest to turn 6, but Linus knows that, and he defends. And now we come onto the front straight for what is to be
the second last lap.
I think it's going to be the last lap.
No, there is one more.
Yeah. So
we go out on the last lap.
Andreas has gotten past Lionel in the final corner. He's made a move. And now we enter the final lap. Can Andreas do anything about Linus Stjärnelund? It's close behind them. And Linus weaving all across the track to break the toe. Now Andreas goes on the outside once again. Will this be the time around where he makes the move for the lead? Lionel on the inside, Fredrik on the outside, Oscar on the outside.
They touch.
Lionel and Linus Stjärnelund in the first corner on the braking. They're now side by side. Andreas goes off, and then Lionel goes past Linus Stjärnelund as well into turn 3. Will he make it? Yes, Lionel is the new leader. Lionel is the new leader as we now barrel down to turn 5. Will he be able to defend his position? It's Linus behind him, then Albin, and then Andreas, and then Fredrik Lindholm. Oscar's dropped back. Andreas makes a move around the outside, and Linus doesn't move on the... It's contact once again. There's contact, much more contact.
But Linus, what a move, even though he got pushed a little bit.
Well. He's up into P3.
And Albin is coming on the inside also.
Turn 6.
What a race we are now.
Fredrik Lindholm side by side with Lionel scored down into turn 7. Albin Gustafsson bumping Lionel across. Side by side into turn 8. Andreas makes a move. Linus has checked out ahead. He will win this race, what it looks like. Fredrik on the outside, Albin on the inside, Lionel ahead. Who will be on the podium? It's a drag race.
It will definitely be Linus winning.
Linus wins,
what
Lionel is second.
Race.
Fredrik Lindholm is P3, a career best. And then Andreas Skattebo P4. Albin Gustafsson P5 and Oscar Melstig P6.
What a race.
Whoa.
Okay. Should we wrap up here and go through? This was, I think, the best race of the year so far.
Yeah,
definitely.
One of the best final laps I've ever seen, if I may say so. Wow, that was a good one. So Linus Stjärnelund, the winner in the end, ahead of Lionel's score, and then Fredrik Lindholm in P3. Andreas Skattebo having a tough one, this one, down into P4. Albin Gustafsson in P5, Oscar Melstig in P6. Kalle Svensson P7, Enzo Collin P8, William Eriksson P9, Jonathan Olander P10, Gustav Berglund P11, Devin Grabko P12, William Isaksson P13, Mikael Karpers P14, Max Stjärnelund P15, Johan Valand P16, Selina Hessman P17, and Agnes Varland, who couldn't take the checkered flag unfortunately, So, Dan, what do we make of that one?
Wow, I need a rest.
Yeah, here we see it in full. Linus Stjärnelund have Lionel score, and for the first time in his career, Fredrik Lindholm is on the overall podium ahead of Andreas Skattebo in P4, Albin Gustafsson P5, Oskar Melstig P6, Kalle Svensson P7, Enzo Collin P8, William Eriksson P9, Jonathan Nylander P10, Gustav Berglund P11, Devon Grabko P12, William Isaksson dropping down to P13, and then Mikael Karpers in P14, Max Stjärnelund P15, Johan Wahlam P16, and Selina Hessman in P17. Magnus Wahlam not taking the finish.
Yeah, and now it's down to the podium to get the prize for the prize giving, and then we are off to south of Sweden, Knutstorp,
where I won't be, so someone else will have to guide you through that one.
I haven't given you off. No, but we hope to see you there, of course, and follow these young stars. They are really, what a battle.
Wow. Yeah, that was a good one. Thank you for joining us this wonderful weekend, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.